Alright, everyone just bow your heads and get ready for prayer. In the end, this is not like a ritual or anything. It's just to help us not get distracted with any other things so we can concentrate. So, thank you, God, for this wonderful day you have given us, Lord. Thank you for bringing us all here together. Thank you for that wonderful praise and worship we had. I'm glad that we still had an audience nonetheless, and that all the band members were here to play their part. Lord, help me reach these young teenagers, these young adults, and these adults, and hopefully my class will reach them and teach them about dating, Lord. And through your word, I will be able to show them the right way to do these things. And you know what? Thank you for everything, because thanking you, there's never a bad time to thank you, Lord. So I'm just going to say it again, thank you. In the name of Jesus, we say, in your name, we pray, amen. You can tell by the slideshow presentation, we're going to be talking about dating. Now, for some of you guys might be interested in saying, okay, let's see what he has to say about dating. And some of you might say, oh, we're talking about that? But it's something important that we're all going to go through in our lives. It's something that we need to do before we reach that state where we enter courtship and then marriage. It's where we get to test the waters and see, hey, is this person right for me? It's been used more as a way to just spend time and just hang out with other people, and we call it dating, but in reality, dating, it really is just testing out and seeing whether you're compatible with each other or not, because in the end, that's all it really is. It's nothing more than that. Now, I do want to address some things. These past couple of classes, we've been talking about love languages and dating, and you guys are probably in love and attraction. You guys are like, why are we going into this stuff? Don't we usually just talk about the Bible and whatever? But the truth is, you guys are growing up. It makes me really sad, okay? Because you guys are like about to enter your adulthood. From there, you enter college, and like you guys are just passing this by. So this is our way to show you how to go through these stages in life that you might not have even thought of. You guys are like, oh, well, I thought I was just going to wing it, Well, in this case, we can avoid that. So, first 3 things I want to address, that this is to help you understand. We're not trying to enforce anything or anything else. We're really just trying to help you, because if we're not going to help you or guide you, you're going to get it from somewhere else. So better from us than from anywhere else, right? Also, we're doing this so we can, again, we're trying to guide you. We're not trying to, force you to do anything, because we can't stop you. This is your life, this is your choice. So I'm not using my mic, but all we can do is hopefully influence and persuade you to do the right things when it comes to dating, marriage, and etc. So, and finally, the reason we're talking about it more often is because this seems to be a scary topic for a lot of teenagers. So they're like, we're trying to make it less scary, more approachable, more accepting. When you enter this stage of your life, you're going to be, you know what? I'm not scared. I'm going to go through it. I've learned everything I needed to learn. All these classes have taught me what to do. There's nothing to fear unless you're asocial and you don't like talking to anybody, period. But hopefully that's not the case. Before you do enter dating, this is still an introduction, some of you are not old enough to date, right? I know at least okay, I know at least 2 people in the crowd, 3, 4, 5 people in the crowd that differ between whether they're ready to date or not. But dating is not something you just go into. It's something that requires patience. It's something that you go into, you delve into later on in your life. Because right now you need to focus on your goals, your dreams, your inspirations. That's the stuff you got to focus on right now, because if you think you're going to be able to do all those things after marriage, you could, but you have a lot less freedom than you actually think. Not because your other partner's holding you down, but because now you have more responsibilities than you originally had. So another thing is that you must be mature and prepared. Some people are very mature for their age. They might be 16, and then at the same time, you could even put them running their own company at the age of 16. That's how mature they are. But yet there are some people in their 30s and they still think that food isn't important, the Lego Death Star is, and they forget to pay the rent all the time. People differ. It's different ages and different responsibilities. Okay, another thing. Love is not based on physical attraction. I think we've already talked about that when Milton taught the class. It isn't based on physical attraction because, you know, there are many things that go into it. You know, no one's going to stay physically attractive forever. Like, just wait till you're 80 and you're like, oh, where'd that lady go, the one I married when I was in my 20s, you know? Like, that's not going to stay. So, and another thing, the reason why it's so important not to focus on that, it's because it just takes away from the relationship. There is no relationship. It's like dating, it's like if you're going to date someone for how they look, you might as well date a mannequin. Okay, dating today is equivalent to selling a car. Do any of you know what that means? Like, do you guys, can y'all formulate like any idea what that means?
Like buying a car or pulling a car?
Buying a car. Dating is like buying a car. At least dating today is like buying a car.
You gotta look at a bunch of them.
You like, you know, how it looks, the specs.
Kick the tires.
They always show you what you like. They're always like, oh yeah, this baby can run 500 miles per hour. Yup, got that. Red sleek, red coat, and has leather seats, as well as this, as well as tint windows, you know. But they don't show you what it has, you know. Tires, you know, might have some holes in there. Brakes, kind of rusted, and you might die, you know, if you go test it out right now. But you know. As well as the stereo's broken, cushions hurt, headlights don't work, motor's broken, AC needs repair. They don't tell you what you don't want to know. They tell you what you want to know. They tell you what you want to hear. That's more likely. That's what dating is. Well, at least today. And this is what we're going to teach you. We're going to teach you to avoid those things. Love does not equal lust. Now, this goes back to attraction. You guys are like, whoa, that lady is so beautiful, man. I want to take her on a date. I want to give her piggyback rides. I want to go boating, canoeing to the beach, frolicking around the beach, throwing water in her face while she throws salt water in mine because she didn't like that. But you guys have like this idea, that's lust. Even though most of you are like, oh, but I'm emotionally attracted. It's lust. It's not, you do not care about this person's values, ideas, concepts. Like the quirks they might have, the things they might do, you just like the idea of them. You like how they look, you like just them. Like reading a character in a book. It's not like you really know the person, you just read, you just know what you read. So, also remember dating is a test. You're testing the waters, and dating is misconstrued by the media. How many of you guys know this?
Misconstrued.
Misconstrued, meaning it's been kind of corrupted and messed around, telling you this is what dating really is like. How many of you knew that? At least, like, raise your hand if you kind of knew, at least. Okay, 1, 2,
movies.
4. Alright, couple people, yeah. Well, except for one, but he doesn't need to worry about that. So, that's, the truth is, like, you've seen all those Hallmark movies. Two people just bump into each other in the middle of the street, suddenly, it's this sudden connection. You know, like, wow, I've never met you in my entire life. For all I know, you could be a serial killer. But you know what? I have this instant connection with you. So I instantly love you. And it's like, this is not how it's like in real life. Most likely, the person you're going to date has been a friend before you move on to that process. You've already had these attachments for each other as friends, and then eventually you guys want to move on to the next step. It does not just happen like how they show in movies. It is maybe 10%, but those always never end well. Also, a common problem in our society is hookup culture, which is basically just, whatever, I'm gonna hang around this girl and start dating her because, you know, it's like, it's fun to do, and we get to go out to eat and whatever, we get to do all these things, and it's like, whatever, I'm gonna date this next girl, and then this next girl, and this next girl. I know you don't have to stay dating with the same person. Of course, you're trying to find who you want, but you have to treat it seriously. It's not a game. So today's society, I think love is just a game. Love is not something like, oh, I really care for this person deeply. It's just something like, you know what? It's just a game. It's fun. It's like, I'm bored. I got, what, 10 minutes? It's like enough for a McDonald's date with some girl or something? I don't know. It's not like that, but I'm exaggerating here. But hookup culture is a common problem, and now that I've discussed all these things with you, we're going to get right into it so you guys know what exactly to do. It's not really a rule book. It's more of a guideline. It's more of a, if you truly want to be successful, at least adhere to most of these things, right? It's not, life cannot be passed with a rule book. It's all up to us and our choices. So we're gonna move on to reciprocity. So, can anyone read what it says up there? I'm going to choose somebody actually. I choose Betty. Read what it says up there.
A relationship cannot be one-sided. It has to be equal and received, and in other words, reciprocal.
So a relationship cannot be one-sided. It has to be equally as received, or in other words, reciprocal. Now, how many of you guys heard of the term friend zone? I mean, I better see all your hands up, you know? If you haven't heard the term tossed around all the time, maybe in so many things.
Never met her.
Nope, it's my whole life.
So friend zone, the way it works is there's one person that is so attracted or so in love or has so much feelings for this other person, and that's it. The other person doesn't have the same attraction or feelings for the other. It's not emotionally invested. It's like, whatever. I guess this person really likes me or something. And sometimes it can even go past friend zone. Like, even though they call it friend zone, it's like, yeah, I have a friend. It's not like that. It just usually means the best you can be is my friend. It doesn't mean you're actually my friend. So, which I had to learn. Like, it's like, oh, I really like you, random stranger. Oh, no thank you. Oh, I've been friend zoned. That means this person is my friend. No, it just means the best you'll ever be with this person is their friend. So, but there are people that still keep going. They stalk, they follow, it gets really creepy because they don't understand that they said no, no is no, right? Like if your mom tells you no, of course you're going to stop because the last thing you want is like the chancla, you know? Or at least, I don't know if any of you know the chancla, no? Yes? Okay, yeah, there's one, there we go, a man of culture. Other people don't understand that concept. No means no. And the reason why it's so common, it's like, they've never been taught that love is supposed to be mutual. Like, wait, they're supposed to love me too? Huh. That's why they don't understand that term. Another thing is, these people see others as objects. You know, we go back into it, you look at the other person, it's like a mannequin. You don't really love the person, you just love the idea or how they look, and it's gonna hurt you more. Not like hurt sad, but it's gonna hurt you like in here because you keep thinking of the idea that you guys are meant to be together, which is not healthy. And there's two problems with reciprocity, which is like reciprocal love. It's even though there's those people that are one-sided and get shut down and ignored, there are people that even though they know it's one-sided, they will still kind of force the other person to be with them. Like seduction. Like, I know seduction can be a thing later on in life, like between when you guys have already established that love, but not when it hasn't been established. Where you're learning in another person, and the other person is already feeling uncomfortable, but they have to feel obliged to do it. Or sometimes seduction is just so appealing. Like, they call into us, and we're a fish. Hook, line, and sinker, we've been reeled in. And that's a huge problem. And I'm not just talking about we're the fish, we get reeled in. Sometimes we're the hook. Sometimes there are people of us that want to seduce other people. And it's like, there has been no establishment. That's unhealthy. And another thing is ultimatum. Or has anyone ever heard like da-da-da-da-da or else? And then they introduce a worse category. It's like, all right, you're either with me or I'm going to tell everybody about da-da-da-da. That sounds more like a hostage situation, like blackmail. That's not really, that's one-sided. And it's another unhealthy form of love and dating. Good relationships give life-giving impact. Both of the people in a relationship should be fulfilling to each other. You're not going to just be, oh, well, we love going to the movies and we love watching the same shows. It's kind of like, what does that do for your life other than provide? It's like eating chips compared to a good meal. You're just eating the same thing. You're just doing the same thing over and over. Like, yeah, this person has everything you wanted, but do they fulfill you? Do they make you feel like, first of all, you shouldn't be dating if you need someone to make you feel whole. Like, that shouldn't be it. It should be more of someone to compliment you. But you guys should be nurturing each other, like both emotionally and spiritually. Y'all should be providing, y'all should be helping each other towards success, toward goals. Being like when you're dating, you want that person to compliment you. Not compliment you just in the way you look, but just have everything that maybe you don't have within you. You don't capitalize on their insecurities. You speak to their insecurities. Now, what do I mean by this? There are people that pick on others' insecurities to make them feel like, oh, I'm the best you're going to get. You're not going to get anyone better than me. I mean, look at you. You're this, you're that, you're that. You're not going to get anyone better, so just stick with me. So it's like, a real person that would date you, that wouldn't do that, like the best thing you want to look for is someone that knows his insecurities and speaks to them. It's like, oh, like, here's an example, right? And I'm not applying this to me. But it's kind of like those examples, well, I don't look that good, you know? I don't look like those Victoria's Secret or those guys in like the shoe model, like those guys that wear Levi's. Like, I don't look like those models, man. And then this person said, oh, I don't care if you don't look like those models. I think you look better, in my eyes. It's like, they don't use it against you. They use it to their advantage, not because they're trying to manipulate you, but because they want you to feel good about yourself, because they feel like you're worth it. When you're with them, when you're with a person and you're dating them, you should be desperate to, like, I'm not getting there. You want to be desperate to want to show them your true self. Like, I know it goes back to dating. It's like selling a car. We're like, oh, okay, we're just giving them what they want, but we're not giving them all of us. So in dating, you want to show your true self. You want to show them all your dislikes and likes and everything you love doing. But you also want them to be okay with it. Of course, you don't want to just share your random insecurities. It's like, hey, easy, did you know I'm a shy pooper? Like, you know, like you don't want to do that. Because, well, first of all, that's not really a thing that you want to be sharing with people. But you don't want to share your insecurities just for them to criticize them or put them down. You show them because you build this trust, and you want to say, you know what? I trust this person. I'm giving you something valuable that makes me vulnerable. And I'm giving you and this is the opportunity where they show you. Do they really value you? Or are you just another person, just another piece of gum? I don't know. You're just not special. So you want to make sure that they delight in your insecurities, not exploit them, not manipulate them, and that they love your true self, not just whatever show you put on. Oh, hey, look, I have this fancy car, I have these good-looking clothes, where deep down you live in an apartment with one room, one kitchen, and etc. So seek a fulfilling relationship, guys. It should nourish you. So we're going to move on to the next one. Approval by godly counsel. Do they please or trouble your godly counsel and the ones you love? Now, have you ever seen like those shows or movies where they're like, you don't know what I want? They don't. They don't know what you want. But sometimes the people you love know what you need. Because it's not about what you want, it is about what you need. And sometimes they may be accepting. They say, you know what? We really like this person. This person is really good. You know, we accept them. We accept that you're dating them. This person, we really enjoy their company, and we think their values, their beliefs are really good. And then there are those that say, you know what? We don't think you should be dating this person. And we just don't see it. Not because like, oh, we envisioned you with someone else, but I feel like this person might hurt you or this person might be bad for you. But in the end, it is your choice. But just know that these people really care for you and are just really looking out for you. They don't want to put you down like, oh, this person is already dating? Like, we don't like that. I was supposed to be the first one. It's like, we're gonna, like, no. It's not like that. And another thing is a problem that happens when you don't receive what you want to hear. You surround yourself with yes men. Yeah, David scored one. And it's like, and then you have like your parents saying, David, we don't know, this person you're dating isn't isn't that good. And it's like, oh, you don't know what I want. I'm gonna go hang out with my friends. Yeah, David. And it's like they're just cheering them on. Or it's like, yeah, Melissa. Or well, no, they wouldn't be like that. That's like they'd be like, oh, girl, you scored one. It's like he got the money, he got the looks, honey. So it's like, and then, but then her friends she knows since forever were like, we don't think this person's right for you. This person is really rude to us. And we've only asked them like 2 questions, and they weren't even that much. It's kind of like, are you saying the person I'm dating isn't good enough for me? How dare you? How dare you? It's like, you don't want, I'm gonna go hang out with those other ladies I just met, because they seem to approve of it. So, you want to avoid yes, no. And it's good to communicate. So, just make sure that it's approved by your godly counsel. Like, listen, I know right now, like for most of us, we're like, you're young, so right now, if you were to date, you would mostly get negative feedback, because it's like, don't you want to wait a little longer? But if they know the person you're dating is really like, they know it's a good person, they're not going to hesitate. They're going to say, you know what, we know you're young, but you're mature, that person's mature, so we're going to allow it. So let's move on to the next one. Thoughts of you. Thoughts of you. Thinking of you. Alright, if we read right there, it says, how did you react to this phrase? Some of you are like, oh, yeah, I'm thinking of that person. It's like, wow, I really care for this person and everything. And some of you are like, oh, what do you mean? What are you trying to read into my thoughts? Get out of there. This is my no-no. This is my bubble. You can't know what's in there. But it's like, when you have thoughts of a person, most people think it's bad. Oh, why are you thinking about that person, huh? What are you thinking about, Easy? What are you thinking about, Joel? Well, I don't know what Joel's thinking about. I never do. But it's like, what are you thinking about, Joel? It's okay to think about someone. It's not unhealthy. You're saying, wow, I really care about this person. This person is kind. This person is really smart. Wow, this person's so brave.
Thank you.
But even though you may think that's where we're going with this, the truth is that when you have thoughts of a person, it's taking initiative. You're like, how does having a thought of a person take initiative? Let me tell you why. Many people will say, like, oh, this person, like, oh, I really enjoy them, they're such a good friend. But this person doesn't see you as a friend. This person wants to be more than friends. But I just want to be a friend, you know? It's like, that's how I've known you. But this person wants to take it a step further. So they give you a choice. Like, date me and we'll continue this, or don't and we'll stop. And I'm probably thinking, I don't want to lose this person as a friend. So you date them, and then this person's like, let's move on to the next step, and you're like, well, I just want to keep you as a friend. I didn't know it was going to go this far. Well, the problem was when you said you were going to date them to keep them. As a friend, not to just keep them. That was the problem, because the first thing you should have done is just told them no. Because the truth is that you're just wasting this person's time. This person can be looking for someone else, but you're wasting this person's time by keep alluring them to that it's going to happen, but not really. Now I know that's not something you guys have to worry about, because now we're like moving in way more deeper. But like I said, this is just preemptive guidelines for the future for when it does happen. You know, you guys are already 16, 17. How many is that? 4 to 5 to 6 more years till it's here. That's already less than what you lived most of your life. We're almost there. Also, don't let and if it does happen to you and you go look for the other person, don't let them waste your time either. You want a straight and simple answer. Yes or no. And at this point, most of you, it's something very important, because I know saying yes or no can be very difficult. But it is the healthiest way, because for all we know, you just save that person so much time, and y'all can still keep the friendship. It's not something that has to be ruined. We're going to move on to the next one, which is safety, and purity. Now I know by the title, you're probably thinking, okay, so this is when we get strict, right? Well, I think this is when it gets good, not when it gets strict. And like, when I speak, I really hope you listen and understand. Do you think it's smart, or even okay, to put yourself in a tempting situation? Do you think driving out to the top of the cliff at night at the full moon all by yourself is a good idea? What do you think is going to happen? You can't leave yourself in those situations. You're being open to it. It goes back to seduction. You're basically luring the other person, or the other person is luring you. And then in the end, this is when you question, why did I really want this relationship? If you put yourself in a tempting situation like that early, then what did you really want all along? What is what you really wanted? I thought this was based on connection, on like being emotionally connected and having values and complementing each other. So why are you exposing yourself early? So it's because the truth is, there are many people that don't really care about that aspect. The aspect about caring about each other, about love and emotional connection. They just want physical intimacy. And that's the problem. This is why hookup culture is so common nowadays. People just want to skip all that, and in the end, these relationships don't last long. They don't even want relationship. And it harms your future relationships. It doesn't make them any better. Sure, it becomes really cool in the beginning, but then later on, it's just going to damage you, both mentally and emotionally, and I could go on. But I want you to know this. Wanting physical intimacy isn't a bad thing. I think that's something we keep pushing. We keep saying, it's bad. Like, that's the thing you're never supposed to want. Oh, but then suddenly when you get married, you're like, okay, yeah, embrace it. Where are my grandchildren? Suddenly, first, they start shutting you down and you feel bad. And then later on, the thing you've always been told is bad is suddenly really good. So now you have no idea. It becomes a scary thing. We're trying to inform you because we don't want this to be a scary thing for you guys. We want it to be something where you can say, you know what, I know about this stuff. It's not a scary topic. I know what I'm talking about. Like now when people come up to me and talk about that stuff, like it's not gonna bother me. Because I already know what to do. This is why we're trying to do this. Just remember that, like, it's just something that you have to control within you. So, everything will come in due time, guys. It's not something that will never come to you. It will happen. So, move on to the next one. The final one. Promise of the future. Now, this one's longer, and when I read the book, it was the longest of all the other sub things you have to know. When you're dating, what are you thinking of? After following all these things, and as you get to spend more time with the other, picture the future. Is it good or is it bad? How do you, of course I'm not picturing what you want to see, like, oh, we're living in a mansion, we're frolic on the beach, picnics every single day, living in Miami, even though you shouldn't, because I hear it's like pretty bad over there right now, but the truth is you have to realistically picture the future. You have to say, how do I see myself with this person? Dating shouldn't leave you confused, doubting, wondering, or lost. There shouldn't be mixed signals, compromised beliefs, bad intentions, or questionable advances. If you're dating somebody and you already see, like, not red flags, like, oh, if this person is already doing this, like, no. If dating doesn't, if what dating does, if you're dating and you don't like it, something's wrong with the person you're dating. Or something might be even wrong with you. Because that's part of maturity. Dating is not something that we do for fun. Dating is not something that we're waiting for. It's the next step after high school, because what else is there, you know? It's going to be a part of your life where you come and you say, you know what? I think I'm ready to date. I think I'm ready to move on to the next step and look for someone that I need.
I'm ready.
Not because I have nothing better to do, but because maybe you feel like you think it's that time. Like, I can't really tell you, oh, there's a certain time to do it, because it's different for everyone. I can't restrict you in a certain box, but I can at least encourage you to find out when that time is. Do you have goals? If the goals are gonna be done by the time you're 60, maybe you might need to be doing it before that age. If those goals are something you need to do while you're still young, maybe you need to focus on doing it at a later time. Maybe you might have dreams or aspirations. It's something you do when you feel like you're ready and you have the time to do. It's not something you do because you have nothing better to do. You know, there's other things for that. If I have nothing better to do, I watch movies and play games, but for some people, they just need something more stimulating. It's masculine. I hate what I'm about to do to it right now, but this is a heart. When you're dating, you're both holding each other's hearts, and what happens when something wrong goes? What happens? This is nasty.
Yeah.
It's not the same mask anymore. It's all wrinkled and ruined. And if it happens again, it gets ruined. What do you think is going to happen if this keeps going? Dating is something that should be done sparingly because it leaves yourself vulnerable quite often. Also, there should be clarity. I think I already said this, but you shouldn't be confused. You should already know what's going on. You should say, you know what? I know what I'm doing. I already know what I'm about to do. I know that this person is, like, when you're dating, this person is the one you want to marry. You're not saying this person is the one that I just really like. I really like this person. It's not like that. Dating is just the second step to marriage. It really is. And as you move on, you're going to start seeing that. Well, if you follow the guidelines, that is. And there has to be pursuit. There can't be just something where, you know, one person puts so much into it and then the other person is kind of like, I don't know. We've already talked about this 3 times. It needs to be reciprocal and both of you have to take initiative. Also, when you're in a relationship, it should feel safe and easy. You shouldn't feel uncomfortable. You shouldn't feel bad. You shouldn't feel guilt. It should just be something that feels about right. And a relationship, like when you're in a relationship, it should signify selfless, sacrificial, and spiritual love. Especially in dating. Those 3 things especially is what needs to be exhibited. If you can't even see that in your relationship, then it's either time to start growing, or it's time to move on, or it's time to wait. I'm about to finish this. I'm going to say a couple of quick things. A relationship moves on when both people acknowledge that it's there. I know there are some people that say, us dating, I mean, I really like him, but I wouldn't consider him my significant other. Like, then what are you doing? What are you doing then? It's just fun. I know right now it seems like I'm being rude, but I mean, come on. You're wasting each other's time, and it's not, like I said, we're back to this. This is what you're doing. As you move on, you should know that once you follow all these things, sure, it's not going to lead to the perfect relationship, but it's going to make sure you don't end up in a bad one.
Amen.
It's going to help you, that you might understand. And another thing is that the relationship should at least follow most of these things. I mean, no one is perfect. I mean, if we're all perfect, there wouldn't be, if we're all perfect, the world would also be perfect. But it's not. We're all imperfect in our own ways, and that's when we have to use grace. We have to look past that. Oh, of course we're not going to look directly past it like, oh, I mean, this person might have been in prison for 20 years and is on parole. Or might have had 10 relationships with 10 girls around the country. I can look past that. It's okay. No. No, none of that. None of that. And finally, something amazing happens when all these things meet. Even though these are like, okay, sure, these things are so I can avoid all the bad things, all right? So you told me to avoid the bad things. These are also supposed to make a relationship and dating fruitful. They're supposed to make it even better than what you've already thought. Can you imagine it? Can you imagine dating and relationships without one of these things? I mean, I can live without one. Can you live without all of them? That's a question for you to answer for yourself. Could you live without all of these guidelines when it comes to dating? You could live. But would you ever do it with a sound mind? So, this is the end of the class. We're going to end it here. Just know that dating is nothing to be ashamed of, and it is a significant step. But it's not something that is supposed to be casual. It's a test. Dating is a test to understand, to know what the other person really is. And of course, you're not going to date, like, there might be a time, if you're lucky enough, you only need to date one person because you've already established that friendship. But there might be some of us where we'll have to maybe date up to 4 times different people, but it's not something you just jump over like hookup. It's something that you understand, you say, you know what, this person's not compatible with me. I think this person might need someone else, but not me. That will happen a lot in dating. The next step after dating would be courtship. And of course, courtship is the process where you guys are like, you know what, we're a thing. We're going steady, and we're understanding each other, and we're saying, we understand. I wanna end with this final verse, right? This is going back to the godly counsel. Proverbs 12:15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to advice. So whether or not you choose to leave with this advice today, it's up to you. But just know that this is advice for a reason. It's meant to help, and that's all it's meant to do. It's not meant to like give restrictions. It's meant to be those guardrails in bowling, you know, so you don't end up in the gutter, and you actually have a chance of hitting those pins. This is nothing to be discouraged or ashamed of, or it's nothing to be like nervous or scared about, because this is natural. Your parents dated, your grandparents dated, your uncle and aunt dated, and that's something. And everyone does it in their own time when they feel like they're ready. But you have to know that it takes patience and consideration. So next class is going to be about courtship. You guys are going to be talking about, once they already said all this, and it'll be the step before marriage. And of course, marriage is like, ooh, marriage. That's like a, for some of you it's like, ooh, marriage, yay, that's when it's the happily ever after. And for some of you are like, ooh, marriage. Isn't that too soon to be talking about that kind of stuff? It's like, well, no. Like I said, this is going to be preparing you guys. Because in the end, you're all growing up. You're all, at some point, you guys might not even be here anymore at the end. You're not teenagers. You're going to be adults living your own lives. So we're going to end this in prayer. So close your eyes, bow your head, so you guys can concentrate on the words and not on anything else. Thank you, God, for this wonderful day you have given us, Lord. Thank you for bringing everyone here, and thank you for entering their soul and opening their minds, Lord. I know these topics may seem scary to some, and for others, not really. For some, it might be just stuff they've already known, but hopefully this class gives something new to all the audience. To the ones who've been through it, to the ones that haven't, or to the ones that don't care. Hopefully they just get something out of this. You went in my mind, Lord, and you told me to say these things to them. I had no control, it was all you, Lord. I know that today we're all going to leave with a different point of view, different aspect, different knowledge. And I know that through everything, whether they follow the advice or not, as long as they still have you, Lord, that's what truly matters. Because with you, everything will be all right. Because when you take the wheel, Lord, you just make everything better. Maybe to some, they might not see it, but hopefully they will. Thank you for everything you've done, Lord. Thank you for all their lives. Thank you. Bless us, Lord. We thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. I know you love all of us. You have infinite love for every single one of us as individuals. You love Gian, but you love us all individually, Lord, as well. So we thank you. So in your name, we say, Amen.
Amen.